Joining me now is Alex Woodyer-Sharon, and she is President and CEO at Empress Royalty. We meet again. Great to see you as always.
Great to see you too. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk about the asset that brings in the most revenue at the moment is the Teleweto. And what can you tell us about the capacity expansion at the project, and also the company that runs it, the operator, Luca Mining? They have a new CEO. So what are they going to bring to the table?
Yeah, so Luca, for us, the Teleweto mine, it's about 30% of our revenue in silver. So we take 100% of their silver for our initial investment that we did. With Dan Barnholden joining them recently, they've really got the company on track, moving it forward. They've just, they're increasing their production, and we've been receiving those silver credits coming in. So that's where we put our recent financials out, and you can see that reflected there. And they've also started a drill program for the first time in a very long time at Teleweto. So hopefully those drill results will be coming out within a month.
Very good. And then you've got the Galaxy mine. This is operated by Galconda Gold. It's your newest producing asset, and they're looking to drive production higher, correct?
Yeah, so we invested in this one and funded them in March last year, or in 2024. This was one where they needed $5 million, and that money was going in to help them increase production capacity. And so they essentially had a mill, and they needed more underground equipment, and they needed to be able to get some new phases. So the funding we provided is allowing them to do that. They're just getting the equipment on site now, and they're just starting to go through that process. So with those two investments, and then that one we have a gold stream on. With those two investments, that's really going to ramp up our production forecast, or our revenue forecast for next year, as they both ramp up and as that revenue starts to come in.
Right. I saw your chairman, David Rhodes, be interviewed a while ago, and he was saying, so this year you're looking to double your revenue, 2026 another 50% higher after that. And he also said that you're kind of at a tipping point, or even beyond a tipping point. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, we launched this company in December 2020. And we launched it with a concept. And the concept was that the streaming companies were doing bigger investment sizes of $100 million plus, and no one was providing that direct investment into the companies with the streaming structure, below that. So we set up Empress. We've done, some development assets that are now in production, some producing assets. And with that, the revenue is starting to come in. So we just put out our Q3 financials in November. For the 9-month period, we've brought in $5.4 million US. Our forecast for the year, or our revenue at guidance, was going to be about $6 million. So obviously we'll blow past that when we get our year-end financials. And as I mentioned, with Galaxy and Teleweto ramping up, we're expecting to double our revenue next year and then grow it past that point. And that's just with the 4 initial investments. So those 4 initial investments over the next 5 years generate about $68 million, and that's using $2,500 gold and $30 silver, should bring in about $68 million of revenue if we did nothing else. But we're actively looking for new opportunities.
Right, so lots of growth potential. You're looking for other assets. So lastly, Alex, as far as catalysts for this year, is that the main focus, is finding some new assets?
Yeah, absolutely. We brought in one last year, and we want to continue to expand the portfolio. We now have 4 stable sources of revenue, and the idea is to layer in 5, 6, 7. But we do go through quite an extensive process. We're not buying third-party royalties. We're not looking at exploration. We are really focused on those cash-producing assets, or very near term. So as we go through the process, we identify the opportunity through our network, through our board and management, of groups we know that can operate well, who need that additional capital. And we go through a desktop review on the technical side, as well as the economics, the overall goals of the company, because these mines, it has to work for them and for us. So it's very much a win-win situation. And whether we're a part of a financing package or we're just individually financing, like we have with some of our private companies. And so as we layer those things together, that's really what's going to, and then we do extensive third-party technical review, tax review, financial review, legal review, an ESG review. So all those have to come together for it to become an investment in the portfolio. And we've been patient in deploying that. We've rejected things technically they haven't stacked up to our expectation. We're all large shareholders, management and board on about 25% of the company. So we're very aligned with shareholders to make sure the next investments in make sense and get the same kind of returns we've had before in the portfolio.
As you mentioned, it's a very specific niche, what you're doing. How much competition is there when you do identify an asset that you want?
We have not been in direct competition with any of the other royalty and streaming companies for the investments we're doing. We look at Africa, South America. We're looking at that $5 to $10 million investment size. There's definitely competition from whether it being equity, debt, or some other type of financing structure. But we haven't been in direct competition. So we've been finding it pretty unique, but again, it has to stack up to our expectations of what they present as their plan, and that makes sense to us. And we're very fortunate. We have an amazing technical advisor, David Lang, who was one of the founders and CEOs of Endeavour Mining, CEO of Equinox. He's chairman of Fortuna. He's advisor to Endeavour Financial as well. So we really have a very strong technical aspect that comes in the process of evaluating opportunities. We've got Nora Pincus, who joined us last year. She comes from the structured finance side as well. So the combination of all of us in the team as we're building it out really is allowing us to find a lot of opportunity. But we're constantly looking at the portfolio and the balance of that portfolio. How much country risk do we want? What level of development producing stage of the assets at? How much gold? How much silver? So it's a constant matrix that we're thinking about in that diversification to really be able to provide that for ourselves as shareholders, but also for our investors.
Great update. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you so much.
All right. Great stuff as always. Alex Wood, you're sharing from Empress Royalty, the president and CEO.